Nidoking looking for the double kick farm down. Opponent sends out Lycanroc, hoping Nerds Rising. Panic throws. He does not. It's Quagsire in the back, one of the bulkiest mon in the league. We throw the Sand Tomb. Going for the debuff, we're now going to full send the Earthquake. But the question is Earthquake enough to knock out? Well, you're going to have to watch the video to find out. So welcome back to home of Shadow Pokemon. You can see that fellow content creator, an absolute immense battler, Nerds Rising, who I'm going to link down below, has submitted some incredibly spicy double ground battles. However, there are no Shadow Pokemon. So today I'm going to ask you all, what Shadow Pokemon do you want to see? There's been numerous new ones released recently, as we're currently in a Rocket event. Speaking of which, make sure you remove Frustration, but the Pokemon that gets the most likes down below, if it's a new Shadow, old Shadow, whatever it is, I'll power up, put to work, and it will be featured in an upcoming video. Without any further ado, let's get into the battles. And in game one, we see the battle of the Ice types, the Ice Queen Froslass versus Dugong. Pretty favourable for our Froslass, as we have the better coverage move of Shadow Ball, which gets same type attack bonus. Dugong is forced to go for Water Pulse, and in case you don't know, Water Pulse is a garbage move. The opponent goes for the Icy Wind Bait, and Nerds Rising is not shielding that. He then goes for the Shadow Ball on CMP. This has been debuffed, but still going to do huge damage. It actually secures the knockout. We see an instant pivot into Donphan, and Donphan is met with this Seismitoad. Seismitoad's only thrown 4 Mud Shots. This is a Muddy Water. Muddy Water is super effective, however, also a pretty terrible move. Donphan farming up, going for the Body Slam spam. Body Slam does reasonable damage. Donphan is also released as a new Shadow, so if you want to see it, post it down below and let's see if this elephant is actually any good in its Shadow form. Nerds Rising makes one more Body Slam. This should be pressuring a shield from the opponent. The opponent does give up a shield and then commit to the farm down. The opponent builds up to 6, so this potentially could be an Earth Power. However, Nerds Rising calls the Muddy Water, and it is just a Muddy Water. The opponent now forced to dump the remainder of their energy, and we're putting it all on Nidoking, looking to close. The opponent instantly pivots out. That's great recognition from the opponent, as that energy dry Seismitoad would have got farmed down. It's now battle Diggersby versus Nidoking. We are both hitting each other for super effective. Nerds Rising with 2 shields calls the bait like an absolute savage, then YOLOs the Earthquake. The opponent shows no respect, and this thick bunny suddenly doesn't look all that thick. Nidoking pretty spicy, usually on Earth Power, but Nerds Rising isn't running that. He's full YOLO in the Earthquake. You can see we've got a double Earthquake strategy. This now is going to be game over. We can safely shield up both the Fire Punches, commit to the double kick farm down, and Seismitoad is also going to eat the double kick farm down for the win. Let's go. Moving on to the next one. Big yikes, the Nightmare lead Froslass into camera up. We pivot into Donphan, and the opponent sends out Lapras. Lapras is hitting us for super effective, however Donphan is getting super effective damage in return, as we're running counter as the fast move. Donphan spamming out Body Slam after Body Slam, and the opponent has double shielded to commit to the farm down. This is now pretty tricky for Nerds Rising, as this energy is pretty universally useful. Froslass not going to appreciate the Surf spam. We tank the first, however Lapras already at the second Surf. Froslass also not shielding. Nerds Rising looks like he's putting all his faith in Nidoking. We see the pivot. We look for the double kick farm down. Lapras on minimal HP makes another charge move. Nerds Rising finally going to commit that first shield. They then send back out Camera Up, and Camera Up is not going to appreciate this Sand Tomb. Sand Tomb is double super effective, and holy shit, I've never seen Sand Tomb do so much damage. Nerds Rising now going to shield up the Earth Power, look to commit to the double kick farm down. The opponent's final Pokemon is Ferrothorn. They throw after only 3 Bullet Seeds. This is only a Mirror Shot. That isn't enough to knock out. They must have Thunder as a second move. Nerds Rising then shows great discipline, throwing the Earthquake on a CMP type Earthquake near one-shots, and just like that, we found a win con. This Mirror Shot is going to take care of Nidoking. 1 Powder Snow is going to be enough to knock out. We're only 1 more Powder Snow away from the charge move. Incinerate 5 turns, not going to register, and Froslass somehow pulls off an incredible dub. Let's go Nerds Rising, incredible gameplay. Make sure you go check him out, because this guy, in my humble opinion, is one of the best up and coming YouTubers and an absolute top tier battler. But moving on to the next one, we see Froslass into Wishcash. Pretty favourable for Froslass, as our Avalanche, which is a Side Strike clone, is a lot better than Mud Bomb, which is, well, pretty average. We see the pivot into Donphan, and the opponent answers with Escavalier. Nerds Rising is going to YOLO the Earthquake. Does the opponent know? Because if they don't know, they're about to find out. Unfortunately, the opponent does know. They shield up the Earthquake, however, Donphan, still not done, super spammy, gets to a resisted body slam. The opponent double shields. It looks like they're going for the aggressive farm down. Donphan just short of a body slam. The opponent showed great commitment, but holy smokes, they're left on 1 HP. And a dream, we send out Froslass again, Nerds rising. Looking to 2-shield Nidoking, they throw the drill run. They get the counter down. Nidoking is going to be able to double kick down in 1. So we're going to shield this up. That double kick will knock out the opponent. YOLO'd the Mega Horn. We know the opponent has Wish Daddy Cash with residual energy, however it is quite low. The opponent does send it out. I believe they probably have enough for a Blizzard. I'll be honest, I was chatting so much nonsense, I forgot to count. The opponent throws back-to-backs. They did have enough for a Blizzard. Nerds rising, had to shield. Mud Bomb is super effective, however, not enough to knock out, and holy crap. Sudowoodo in the back. It's going to be high Sudu, bye Sudu. It gets absolutely nuked back to his Pokeball, and 1 double kick is enough to take that game. We see the battle of the Ice Queens in the next battle. It's all about that CMP and who's got the big Gahonas. Nerds rising throws on charge move priority, so he is going to win the CMP ties. He throws the bait, the opponent craps their pants. Is Nerds rising going to show huge Gahonas? He last second shields and he correctly shields up the Shadow Ball. This puts him in a prime position. Does the opponent attempt to make a catch? No, he doesn't. Nerds rising over farms by 1, knowing he wins CMP. Great awareness from Nerds. Now, is he going to go down 2 shields? Yes, he is, because even if the opponent baits, he's still going to be able to win the CMP in the end game. Does the opponent switch out? They do attempt to catch, however, they was slightly too soon. They send out a Water Gun Wish Cash. Water Gun going to be hitting both our ground types in the back for super effective, so Nerds rising throws the first Avalanche. Then pivots into Donphan to soak the energy. That's a fantastic play. From Nerds, we save Froslass with health and residual energy. And Donphan now easily able to outpace to the Body Slam. And Body Slam is going to secure the knockout. The tricky thing here is Froslass is probably going to get a hefty farm down. Nerds rising committing to the Earthquake. Last second realised he isn't going to make it, so settles for some chip damage with the Body Slam. That Body Slam is double resisted, but is going to put it into Avalanche range. Avalanche, such a hard hitting move, even resisted, going to be enough to secure the knockout. That final Pokemon is Escavalier. Escavalier, not the bulkiest. This stab Shadow Ball going to do a lot of damage. Escavalier going to need to commit to the counter farm down. Nerds rising looks to snipe with a double kick. The first one didn't knock out, but the second one certainly did. Moving on to the next battle, we see Lucario into Froslass. This is what I like to call the bait game. Nerds rising, going for the bait. Is the opponent going to shield? Yes, they do. I'm calling the opponent's also a master baiter, but Nerds rising looks to soak the energy on his Donphan. I was correct. Lucario goes for the power-up punch to now pivot out into Wall Rain. Nerds rising throws on CMP. These counters really chunking, and the opponent lets the Body Slam go. I wonder if Nerds rising is going to shield it up, and that's exactly what he does. Winning the switch advantage here is going to mean that Lucario's in big trouble. Nerds rising again throwing on CMP. If the opponent shields this up, he can simply shield and counter farm all the way down, and I imagine that's what he's going to do, but he doesn't. Nerds rising choosing to save a shield for Nidoking, and we look to get ahead in energy. We go for the double kick farm down. The opponent sends out Wish Daddy Cash, and then he looks to catch the Mud Bomb. Holy smokes, Nerds rising, showing that staying in school really pays off. We soak the energy on Froslass. The opponent pivots out into Lucario. Lucario did dump his energy. This Avalanche is resisted, but still secures the knockout. Back out comes Wish Daddy Cash, trying to put the team on his back, and Nerds rising throws on CMP again. And this game is absolutely over. Avalanche gets it super low. Nerds rising just going to save his shield, and this Wish Cash is going to get a 1 HP boom, as we've got the Earthquake locked and loaded. Massive overkill, but you love to see it. Very nicely done. GG's. Nerds rising battling here against an absolute Spice Lord. The opponent ripping that Lycanroc. Lycanroc has access to Stone Edge. I believe, as we've only thrown 7 counters, this is not a Stone Edge, and he is right. It's actually a Crunch. Holy crap, that still did a lot. It's 8 counters to a Stone Edge, I could tell by his energy. They wasn't at it, but that Crunch still did massive damage, catching both me and Nerds rising off guard. This is the joys of running Spice, as people don't know the moveset. Lycanroc, use your on Psychic Fangs, and Stone Edge. They pivot out into Escavalier. Does the opponent know? We YOLO the Earthquake. Earthquake again draws a shield. Looks like Escavaliers love to shield everything. The opponent now all shields down. And it's now Nidoking time. We've got a 2-0 shield advantage. However, Nerds Rising is going to be giving them shields back pretty quickly as this Escavalier is loaded. We shield the Drill Run. The opponent already at Drill Run, number 2, so that 2 shield advantage has evaporated. However, we've got residual energy. Good to go. I don't think we can double kick farm them all the way down. Holy smokes, we pivot into Froslass, looking for the catch. We don't make the catch, but the opponent gets scared. Fire off the Mega Horn. What the heck was that? They now pivot out into Lycanroc, looking to catch. They don't catch. It's Quagsire. In the back, we throw the Sand Tomb. To lower the bulky Quagsire's defense, we are going to outpace to the Earthquake. However, the question is Earthquake going to be enough to knock out? Yes, it is. Nidoking nukes Quagsire, and 1 double kick's enough to take that game. Again, very nicely done. Moving on to the next battle, another Nightmare lead and a Nightmare safe switch. Donphan going to be having a really tricky time of beating Froslass in the mid game. Come on, nerds, go for that YOLO. He's actually choosing to bait with a body slam. If the opponent does take the bait, we are going to outpace to the Earthquake. The opponent does shield. Are they willing to go down 2 shields? We're YOLO in the Earthquake. Earthquake lands, and just like that, this game is flipped on its head. It's Escavalier. In the back, we can send out Froslass that does single resist counters due to our ice ghost typing. We can tank any 1 move. Drill Run does reasonable damage. The opponent pivots out into Marowak, and oh hello Marowak, meet Nidoking. Nerds Rising calling the power up punch bait. The opponent full sends the Iron Head, and holy crap, that did a lot. Nerds Rising settling for the Sand Tomb as we'll probably get knocked out by that Fire Fang. We actually did survive 1 more, but the opponent did shield anyway. Now the opponent's defense is lowered. This Avalanche going to be more than enough to knock out. Can Escavalier counter farm us all the way down? The opponent is going to throw. We've now got the energy for the Shadow Ball. A huge mistake from the opponent. They had to commit to the counter farm down. However, Nerds Rising capitalises on his opponent's misplay, and that is all she wrote. GG's, and thanks for playing. We see another mirror lead in the next battle. The opponent sends out Wallface, public enemy number 1, and I absolutely love that we've got 2 fighting type quick move users. In the back, Nerds Rising sends out Nidoking. We tank the non-stab flamethrower. Nerds Rising going for what I think a very risky bait. I highly doubt the opponent shields, and they do not. Nerds Rising now going to have to throw another charge move. He's counting, as always, immaculate. We throw the next Sand Tomb on CMP. The opponent just going to allow Wallface to go down, get fucking wrecked, and holy crap, we've got the Earthquake. Does Froslass want to commit a shield? They do not. They near get 1 shot. We then see the aggressive switch into Froslass. Nerds Rising not wanting to give this Froslass too much energy. The opponent YOLOs the Shadow Ball, and they send out Diggersby. Oh my days. I don't know why the opponent isn't top left in, because we've got so much energy. The first Avalanche draws to protect shield. This is only a Fire Punch. Fire Punch, non-lethal. Nerds Rising knows that. We tank the Fire Punch reasonably easy. We're now going to look to throw on CMP. I absolutely love the fact that he plays the CMP game when using attack-weighted Pokemon. This is exactly how you should play. You always maximise your energy. Nerds Rising can now allow this Fire Punch to go through. We can send out our counter user, and the opponent concedes the match. Very, very well played. Moving on to the next one. Froslass into a Bombaslow. Usually pretty good for Froslass. However, this mad lad is running Razor Leaf. Interesting. We go straight for the Avalanche. The opponent lets it go. We look to snipe with Nidoking. The opponent holds their energy and send out Lucario. Hello, we're using double kick, which is super effective, and they're using resisted counters. The opponent throws 7 counters. This could be a close combat. However, Nidoking should survive. It looks like they had Shadow Ball as a second move, so it's just a power-up punch. Nerds Rising shows immaculate counting. Once again, back out comes a Bombaslow. It's got a move, but we can double kick, farm it down, and whatever's in the back is going to get a very annoying debuff. The opponent was running double steal, so that makes sense why they sent out Lucario. They've got Marowak. They shield the first Sand Tomb. Nerds Rising says, have another one. And Marowak says, no problem, I'll just double shield. You can now see these neutral counters going to rip apart this Marowak. We make the Earthquake. The opponent, I don't know what they're doing, but either way, Earthquake, huge overkill, and we take another dub. Let's go. In the next game, we see Froslass into Escavalier. We've seen that Shadow Ball near 1-shots. These counters are resistant, and Drill Run doesn't do a whole heap of damage. Nerds Rising, gonna look to overfarm. It takes Escavalier 7 counters, then 6 for the drill run. Nerds Rising, looking to throw the Shadow Ball. Before the opponent attempts any crazy catch, the opponent just allows themselves to go down. In comes Stunfisk and stay in school, kids. Learn to count. We've got 2 ground types. In the back, we make a savage catch of the resisted Rock Slide on our Donphan. The opponent's got a Charm user in the back. However, this Charmer is sub-ice, so these counters are hitting for neutral. The opponent lets the Body Slam go through, but then choose to dump energy. Nerds Rising knows he can allow this to go down. We can come in with Nidoking due to our sub poison typing. We do resist the charms. We're going to get a nice hefty double kick farm down. And then when that bear trap does return, it's going to get debuffed the absolute life out of. In comes Stunfisk. Nerds Rising throws at correct timing. So if you're using a 3-turn move like Snarl, double kick, Hex, etc. versus a 2-turn move like Mudshot, you always want to throw on odd numbers. That only gives away 1 free turn. If you throw on an even number, that gives them an entire free Mudshot. Nerds Rising, being the genius that he is, never lets me down. He's fast move timing immaculate. We wham bam combo play into Froslass. The opponent shields the Avalanche. Nerds Rising allows Froslass to go down. This is only a Rock Slide. Are we going to see a 2-shield flex? Rock Slide gets us low. Nerds Rising's got the Sand Tomb. He doesn't throw it. Holy smokes, this is going to be close. Nerds Rising is going to shield the next Rock Slide, and the double kick secures the knockout. Holy smokes, almost had an anxiety attack as that ended up getting very close. We see a Skarmory in the lead, not something I've seen in this cup, however I haven't really played if I'm perfectly honest. So what do I know? We throw the Avalanche. Skarmory shields it up, they build up to what could be a Brave Bird. We are going to respect it. Does the opponent YOLO the bird? They do not, it's just a Sky Attack. Nerds Rising can now throw 4. Again, fast move timing, absolutely on point. Is Skarmory gonna let this go through? Yes, they are. We then see the pivot into Donphan. The opponent banks some energy and send out a Bomber Snow. A Bomber Snow is taken super effective from the counter. However, we're taking super effective from the Powder Snow. We draw a shield with the Body Slam. Looks like Nerds Rising just gonna allow Donphan to go down. We almost get one shot by the Weather Wall. We get off one more counter, which is some nice chip damage. Nerds Rising sitting in a pretty good spot. We send back out Froslass. We've got to be mindful of the energy ball, so we do throw the Avalanche pretty much as soon as we get it, not wanting to give up that final shield. Avalanche takes care of Froslass. The opponent sends out Skarmory, looking for the snipe. Nerds Rising going to save 1 shield for Nidoking. 1 double kick takes him out, and that final Pokemon is Diggersby. Holy smokes. If the opponent baits us, then manage to land an Earthquake, we could be in trouble. Is Nerds Rising gonna call the bait? We call the bait, and the opponent is a master baiter. Game over, trainer. We can safely shield this up now. We can then debuff them with a Sand Tomb, and then the opponent's gonna eat an Earthquake to the face. The opponent probably thinks, I've got a chance. Maybe they're not running Earthquake or Earth Power. Well, surprise, eat the Earthquake. And today, trainer, you learned a very valuable lesson. Don't bait. Moving into the final battle of the video, we see a Quagsire in the lead. The opponent sends out a Firefang Hippowdon. I like staying in here, looking to force an early shield. Avalanche does draw the shield, and then we see the pivot into Donphan. Firefang, not the quickest at gaining energy. We reach the Body Slam on CMP. Body Slam secures the knockout, or at least I thought it would. They survive on 1 HP and a Dream. They then return fire with the Earth Power, and we survive on 1 HP and a Dream. It's a simul KO. We know Froslass is going to get one shot by a Stone Edge. We send out Nidoking. The opponent sends back out Quagsire. We've got to be mindful of the Earthquake. Earthquake would be returning us to our Pokemon. I don't really see any point in baiting, but what do I know? The opponent goes for the bait. I think that's really risky, to be honest. A Stone Edge is an expensive move at 55 energy. The opponent lets the Earthquake go through. The opponent fires off a last second charge. They're only throwing 12 Mudshots. This has to be a Stone Edge, right? Nerds Rising agrees it is just a Stone Edge. They've got Froslass in the back. There's 0 chance they shield this Earthquake. Fearful of the Shadow Ball, we land the Earthquake. And now the opponent gets Powder Snow farmed down. Very, very nicely done. From start to finish, I think Nerds Rising played absolutely immaculately. Make sure you go check him out down below, because not only is he an immaculate player, his content is top tier, in my humble opinion, better than mine, as I make it on my phone and my production is pretty poor. His production is on point, so go give him a like, give him a follow. So if you're enjoying the content, smash that like button. If you're new, consider subscribing. Don't forget to comment down below which Shadow Pokemon you'd like to see in action, and I'll put it to work. So just like to say thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.